Hey, welcome back to the Elvis Workshop. I've got a little quick intro before we're going to get to the main video. This thing is red hot. I went over to Randers, Denmark, to the Memphis Mansion, and did a live Elvis Workshop, and that's what you're going to see following this video. I just wanted to do a quick intro and talk about a couple things real quick. We had so much fun over there. I walked around in downtown Randers early in the morning when nobody was out, got some cool pictures. Man, I just love Europe. I love going over there. I love going to the Memphis Mansion. We had so much fun. It was just a blast. It was just so much fun. I picked up a few goodies in the gift shop. I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet. I just got back late yesterday. Lisa's book came out today, so I kind of wanted to throw that into the intro. I have read a little bit of it. It's way more interesting than I was thinking it was going to be honest with you. I'm only about 25 pages in, but it's flying by like that. And man, there are some fireworks in here. So I'm going to do a little bit deeper dive on this book in probably my next video. But it just came out today. I wanted to remind you in case you weren't aware or didn't know. Go get you a copy if you're kind of halfway on the fence. I had somebody say today, well, I don't want to intrude in her personal privacy and read this book. Well, she was writing it. She intended for this to be released. So it's her memoir. She wanted it released. So go get you a copy. A quick story. So Glenn D. Harden was over there with us. He arranged 53 songs for Elvis. And there was a great interview that Henrik did with him. I was up there with him, and he talked about all kinds of different stories. But his main interest for this event was to talk about producing these songs for Elvis and doing the arrangements for them, I should say. And his favorite song that he ever did was "It's Impossible" for Elvis. And so I did this entire trip, flew all the way back here, got into the Jeep, and I'm driving home, wrapping everything up. I'm about 5 miles from the house. The sun is going down. Everything's done, and "It's Impossible" came on the radio. How cool is that? Look at that picture I took driving home in Las Vegas. After all of this got done and wrapped up, there's the song. How cool is that? Anyway, so let's do this. This is Randers, Denmark, at the Memphis Mansion. It's me and Henrik doing a live Elvis Workshop. I hope you enjoy this, and thank you as always for watching. And I had several people ask me, did I bring the hound dog with me? No, I did not bring the hound dog with me, but here it is. It's here at home. So it's not in the video, but it's here. So I hope you like this video, and here we go. Let's do this.
So let me ask you something. When are you in Vegas? Are we on?
Well, it's recording, but I can edit this out.
No, let's go.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Welcome to the Elvis Workshop at Memphis Mansion in Randers, Denmark.
With a live audience. Wow. You know,
everybody's alive.
You couldn't even come up with this in Vegas, right?
No, I can't. I don't have enough money to pay for my neighbors to come over and do a show. Anyway, so I'm in Randers, Denmark right now, and we decided we would like to do a show live with all the fans that are here for Elvis Week, weekend. So here we are.
Yeah.
So this is the show. Thank you. Good night. So we really don't have a whole lot on the agenda. We just want to talk about what's gone on this weekend and what we've experienced this weekend. And man, what a fun time, right? So I'm going to put the poster up here right now so you can see who was here. But it was we had Judy. Julie, you have to tell her last name.
Julia Yerda.
Yerda. Okay, I didn't want to screw it up again. I did it on the promo video. Screwed her name up.
You did?
Yeah, and then we had the Swingin' Dixies band last night for some live entertainment. And we had Colin Paul here, who was great. He's an English fan, Elvis fan, and just fantastic. And accompanying him, Colin Paul, was the legendary Glenn D. Harden.
Yeah, how
about that?
Yeah.
Right? Glenn D. Harden. Yeah. Man, what an experience that was, because we've all seen him do concerts. We've all seen him on video with Elvis in the movies and pictures of him, and we know all the things he's done. And he was sitting literally right here talking to us about things. And one of the finest moments of the entire weekend was listening to him, or listening to Elvis do a song while he's remembering "It's Impossible." The song was "It's Impossible." He's remembering scoring that song for Elvis, and we all got to sit here and experience him just from memory, remembering the part where the harp comes in and he's doing all this with his hands, and It's just fantastic. Anybody in here, if you took some photos of that, of him doing this, please send it to me and I'll include it in this video. I'll put it right here.
Yeah. So Glendy was lecturing us
Yes.
in how to arrange music. And one of my biggest surprises when he told us that the 53 songs he arranged, he never ever used an instrument. He was only having it in his head.
Sure. He would sit in his hotel room, have the song in his head and the sheet music, and write out. The second thing about that was when he was doing these arrangements, he never asked permission. He just did it and gave it to Elvis. And he said he had the band come out onto the stage and start playing the song when Elvis came out, and he handed him a lyric sheet and kind of said, here, Elvis, this is what we're going to do. And Elvis loved it. So he kind of got the job of being his arranger just by doing it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So it was great to just have that experience of sitting here and watching him. In that moment, he forgot where he was. He didn't care about anybody around him. He was listening to that song and doing this. He had his eyes closed for part of it, and he was hitting all the notes like this. He didn't care about anything else around him. And there's a story that Sandy Miller actually talks about Elvis. She was in one of his homes in Palm Springs, and it was early in the morning. They had stayed up all night, and this is one of my favorite stories. Elvis goes to the piano, and she's sitting on the couch with a couple of other fans, and Elvis goes to the piano, and she said he's barefoot. He's wearing slacks and I believe a white shirt with a yellow scarf kind of thing over it. And she describes what he's wearing, but she specifically said he was barefoot. He sits at the piano and he starts playing a gospel song. And she said while he's sitting there at the piano, outside the window, the sun starts coming up. And she says he's sitting on the piano just playing. She said he tossed his head back like this and he's just hitting the piano and singing. And she said he was in another world. He didn't care about anybody on the couch. Nobody listened, nobody looking. He was just in that moment singing. And it was, could you imagine that moment in time of seeing Elvis Presley on the piano with the sun coming up behind him, just singing in the living room, doing that? And that's what Glenn did the other day, is at that moment when that song, It's Impossible, was playing, he was gone from this room. He was all connected to that song, just going like this, and that's all he cared about. And that was one of the most beautiful moments of this entire weekend. It was awesome. Wasn't that awesome to see that? It was. That was so great. It was amazing. It was amazing. And you just don't get that. You just don't get that anywhere. I mean, what kind of access do you get, and to be able to have that experience in this place is just beautiful.
But that's actually what we want to do with these Elvis weekends. We want to, I think Julia Yerais, who was one of the storytellers, the journalist who did the book Fashion, the first book, not the FTD book, but the first book,
Elvis Fashion.
Yeah.
I'll put the cover up right here.
She said that this is like an Elvis workshop.
She did.
Yeah, and that's interesting
that's
because
cool.
It is like, hey, we have the music, we play the music, but we also talk, and we maybe talk more than we play. But hey, let's see what happens in the future. But we wanna put in content.
So we had Glenn D here,
and
we also had Stump Monroe. So Stump played drums for the Sweet Inspirations. He's hanging out over there.
Yeah.
And hey, Stump. Yeah, he's awesome. So he doesn't even like to go out to go to the grocery store. But if you call and say, I need you at Memphis Mansion, he'll get on that plane. And he did. And he was actually a last minute, no, hold on, because I got to make this clear.
Yeah.
It seems like he was a last minute replacement, but Henrik was in Las Vegas several months ago, and said, will you come to Memphis Mansion? And Stump said, maybe next time. Well, then Ronnie Tutt had a loss. Ronnie Tutt's family had a issue, and she had to cancel. His widow had to cancel. Unfortunately, it's around. So his daughter passed away. Yeah, right around this time, so they had to pull out.
Of course.
So I called him. I said, "Listen, I know you said no, but we really need you." And he said, "I love Henry." He calls him Henry. He says, "I love Henry. I'll do anything for him, so I'll be there."
I call him Stump.
Yeah. So literally last minute, like 8 days ago, he wasn't coming on this trip. We bought his ticket, and like a week later, he's here. So thank you, Stump. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah. And it's a long trip for anybody, and he'll be the first one to tell you, I'm 80. He thought he was 81 the other day. I had to tell him, no, you're 80. You're not 81. But he's 81. It's hard on me to travel all the way. And he's got the sciatic nerve, so it's really a big deal for him to come all the way across the world. So I just want you to know it's very appreciated, and they love it when you're here. They love to see you come in. So thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. And then Cynthia Pepper, you gotta have a co-star, right?
Yeah. But we are in we are in 2024, so we try to make it equal male and female guests. So we needed to have a balance there. And but most important is that we also wanted to cover the movie years.
Sure. Yeah.
And sure enough, as everybody knows, Cynthia was in Kissing Cousins, and the only movie where Elvis was double. You know, so she experienced two Elvises. Anyway.
So I can tell you, listen, you know, to have these celebrity guests is awesome, but the best part for me is them seeing each other. Last year, Estelle was here, and he had not seen Estelle since 1978.
No, so that was.
And they got to meet downstairs in the break room, and
that is funny. But listen, we cannot leave without saying that Cynthia have great stories.
Oh,
from,
right.
You know,
Adam's
from
family and
but not only that, but the Elvis years, and I know a few of the female Elvis fans out here got a little bit kick out of Cynthia telling about Elvis being a good or bad kisser. I don't know if she surprised if she surprised anyone. I don't know. But shouldn't we give Cynthia a big hand for kissing Elvis? You know, we appreciate you so much.
Give her a hand just because she got to kiss Elvis.
Yeah. We will not stop doing that if we just have to think about that.
Because you didn't kiss Elvis, did you? Did you ever kiss Elvis?
Nope.
No.
All right.
Can you please stop? No, but again, Cynthia is from Vegas, long trip, everything. So, but it is cool that everybody who was connected with Elvis take their time out. We have to remember it's many, many years ago. They have their own life, and life goes on.
Well, he's been gone almost 50 years, and we're still fortunate enough to still have these people.
And they want to come over. Yeah. I really appreciate that. So that
and they tolerate us, which is even better.
But they only tolerate us because we have you. You're kind of the ambassador between the things.
I just thought about something.
You did kiss Elvis.
I didn't kiss him. I hugged him.
Oh
yeah. Well, that's good enough. You know?
If it didn't pick up on the speaker, Stump said he hugged Elvis.
Yeah.
I got to hug him and kiss him.
Well,
Hey, we don't need any more information now.
Cynthia got to hug him
Don't
and
beat
kiss
that
him.
one. Don't beat that one.
Cynthia got to hug him and kiss him and throw him down.
Yeah. Punish him.
Punish him.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? One of the best things about us getting to experience time with these people is the experiences that we have with them that we can share with other people.
Exactly.
So I was telling you before the show about the last Memphis Mafia reunion. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, let's do that quick.
Okay, so we have so much fun with people like this. I can't tell you, Stump has made me laugh so hard. We've had so much fun together. But the last Memphis Mafia reunion, it was just shortly before GK passed away, maybe less than a year before. He had Alzheimer's, and it was this the last one. So if you don't know, or haven't never been, on Beale Street in Memphis at Alfred's, they would have a yearly thing called the Memphis Mafia Reunion. And it was anybody that they could get that worked with Elvis, musicians, but mostly the core of his personal assistant staff, you know, that kind of thing. And it was hosted by George Klein. And so the very last one, it turned out to be the last one. We didn't know it was going to be the last one, but it turned out to be the last one. Dick Grobe was in Memphis for that, and he was part of the dais. He was part of the performance, the show. And he was coming to Memphis 2 days before me, and then we were going to be there 2 days together, and then I was there 2 days after him. So 6 days, but we were only there 2 days together. And I said, well, I'm going to rent a car. And he said, no, don't rent a car. I'll rent a car. And then when you're there, you can just drive me around everywhere. And then when I go home, I'll just let you keep the car until the trip is over. How's that? He said, we'll make a deal. You don't have to pay for a car. You'll get a car, but you need to take me anywhere I need to go. I said, that's a deal. Yeah. Right? That's a good deal. I didn't have to pay for the car except for the gas. So he says, anytime I need to go anywhere, you have to take me. That's the deal. It's okay. So he says, I'm going down to Beale Street, Alfred's. I got to be there at 2 o'clock or whatever. It's cool. Well, I pull up to the hotel to get him, and it's him, his wife, Charles Stone, his wife, me. That's 5 people in a little tiny sedan, right? And but I'm driving, so I got the comfortable seat, right? So you got 3 people in the back. Melissa is sitting on the lap like this in the back, right? I've got more people that want to go. I've just got this one little car. So I drive, and listen, this thing was sold out like 6 months in advance. It was RSVP'd. It was very tight, right? It was very tight. It's not a huge place. It's good size, but it's not huge. And it was a high in demand ticket. So I drive, and I was just going to walk in with Dick. I was going to park the car and walk in with him, just fly in with him, right? Because he would say, "He's with me," and I could go in, right? But I had to drop him off and go back and go get more people. So I did that. I dropped him off, and I come back. I said, "Shit, there's nowhere to park." First of all, and second, I go up in this jam packed. There's probably 1,000 people there. It was packed, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to walk in here like I was already in, and I went out for a minute, and I'm coming back. So I go to walk in, and I grab the door handle, and the lady goes, Sir, you can't go in there." I said, "Oh." She says, "You can't go in. This is a sold-out event. It's a private event. This bar is not open. You can't be in here." And I can see through the window, everybody's on the stage, and the show's going on. I'm like, damn it, I want to get in here, right? And I don't have a way in now. I can't call Dick. He's on the stage, right? I can't say, "Hey, come out and bring me in." She goes, "You can't get in here unless your name's on this list." I said, "Well, my name is on the list. I just walked outside just for a minute. I came back in." She goes, "Your name's on the list?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, what's your name?" And I went, "Dick Grove." And she looks at the paper and she goes, "Oh shit, your name's right here on the top. You're the first one. Come on in." It gets better. So I walk in, and the second I walk in, Linda Thompson, who I've known for many, many years, and one of her friends had the best seat in the house because her brother Sam, who was a very good friend of mine, is on the stage. So Linda had the best seat in the house, like right in the middle, right there, right in front. As soon as we walk in, her and her friend get up and leave. So I went right over and sat down in her seat. So I got the best seat in the house. Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. Anyway, so it's so much fun to hang out with these people and do these fun things. Yeah. And like the story I told yesterday, not on the video, about being at the concert and Steve Christopher introduced Dick and I stood up and waved.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
But you know what I also think could be worth mentioning. I think what is important is that all these people who was around Elvis, and some people would say, why not? But all of these people are very nice. Mm-hmm. They're easygoing. They want to talk. They want to.
So I met Dick. I knew Dick for 20 years, and I met him through a mutual friend. Somebody was coming to visit Las Vegas and asked me if I wanted to meet him. I said, "Yeah, of course." So I met him. We went to dinner, and about 3 months later, he was a guest judge at some event, some Elvis fan thing. And I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, man, I met you 3 months or so ago. Remember we went to that restaurant?" He says, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "I just wanted to say thank you again for that night. It was a lot of fun." "Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome." He says, "So you live here in Vegas?" He didn't remember. I said, "Yeah, I live here." He said, "You know what? My wife needs some work done at her job. They're moving some stuff from a storage facility into this place. Can you maybe come and help me this weekend move that?" And I couldn't think of a shorter word than yes. So I just went, I said, "Yeah, of course." And so that weekend, we went out and rented a U-Haul and moved all this stuff from a storage unit into this doctor's office, and then we went to lunch. And he paid. So he paid me to help, and then he paid for the dinner. And he said, and that's not why I went, obviously, but he said, "Listen, you live here in Vegas, and I had a lot of fun with you today. If I called you in the future and said you want to go out somewhere, would you go out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." 20 years goes by. Best friends ever. Dick would call me and say, "Hey, I just need to replace the sprinkler control valve in my garage because my sprinklers aren't working. Can you come help me with that?" I would come over and we'd take the thing off, wire the new one up, put it up, and then we'd go to the bar and have some drinks, and the word Elvis would never even come up. We would be together for like 8 or 10 hours. Like I would come over on a Saturday morning, do stuff all around the house with him, and go to the bar and have a couple drinks, and the word Elvis was never even mentioned because we just became really, really good friends. So I met him through Elvis, and I always appreciated and respected my time with him, of who he was with Elvis. I never forgot that, and I always appreciated my time with him, but I knew him literally for 20 years. And it was sad when he passed away, and it was actually during the height of COVID, and nobody was allowed to go to the funeral. Excuse me, I had to stand in the cemetery about 50 feet or so from, and so I couldn't even have a proper goodbye, unfortunately. But I always appreciated that, but I always had so much fun with him, and it's awesome to know these people. I met Stump by accident about 22 years ago. Met him totally by accident, and we've been great friends ever since then. And he thanks me all the time. He thanks me I'm just me. I'm just who I am. But he thanks me all the time for our friendship. It's crazy, but I always appreciate it, you know.
But it's funny that you know, great stories, by the way. I just earlier today talked to Glenn, and I said to him, you know, I told him how much I appreciate him coming over all these years and the friendship we had. And then I told him that when I was 13 years old in Denmark, you know, so I was on the other side of the Elvis world, you know, everything was so far, you know, you could easier travel to the moon than travel to America, nearly, right? It was like, it was not a regular thing like it is today. So I had these dreams, I was listening to Elvis and I was watching him, a little bit like you, when you told your story the other day about maybe one day, you know, something, meeting somebody. And I never in my wildest dreams would ever have thought that Glenn D. Harding, Cynthia Pepper, Stump Monroe, James Burton, Priscilla Presley would know who Henrik Knudsen was. And that's the situation today. It's totally, it's mind-blowing. So the Elvis world is very, it's a good community. It's very, you know, very friendly. And if you're sitting out there watching, if you should be an Elvis fan, you know, that's not a question.
Yeah.
If you're even thinking about it, you are an Elvis fan.
It's so amazing to get this access. Now this is a longer story, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But I was on Merle Haggard's tour bus with Merle Haggard and James Burton, and they were talking trash about Jerry Lee. Actually, it was very funny. And James said, "I don't think Jerry Lee's ever recorded a song he didn't put his own name in." It was very funny.
True.
But at some point, James said, "Man, I got to get back to the Peabody. I got somewhere I have to be, and I don't have a ride." And I was like, "Ooh, pick me." You know, I said, "I'll do it." We were on Mud Island. I said, because Merle had a show that night with Willie Nelson and Ray Price. And I've got a cool Ray Price story. I'll tell you in a minute. And
I was there.
Yeah. You were there for that?
Yeah,
you weren't on the bus with me.
I was not. No, I was on the other side. I saw the show.
So I took the Last of the Breed tour. That was awesome. So I took James Burton to the Peabody, and on the way, I made a phone call to somebody. I said, "You're never going to believe who I'm with." And I handed the phone to James, you know. And it's so cool to be able to meet these people and get access to them. And then I've seen James here, of course, at the Memphis Mansion. And but I'm totally getting sidetracked. But I want to tell this Ray Price story because it's very funny. And I've told it a couple of years ago. Some of you might be familiar, but I'm going to tell it again because it's worth telling. So you guys know who Ray Price was? A country singer, sang for the good times. He sang a few Chris Christopherson songs that Elvis covered. And he knew Elvis. There's pictures of them early in Elvis's career together. Ray Price is a legendary country singer, one of the best voices you'll ever hear. And Ray Price told a story. I'm sitting on his bus with him, and he wasn't feeling good, and he had a bowl of grapes, and he was sitting there, and he was eating the grapes one at a time, and he's talking to Merle Haggard's former road manager. I'm sitting next to you. So we're sitting on the tour bus. Ray Price is over there, and we're over here. And she says to Ray, "Hey, Ray, tell him that story about Elvis from the other day." And he says, "Oh, okay." He's sitting there like this, eating his grape, and he goes, "Yeah, you know," and this is, you got to remember, this is kind of behind the scenes, so it wasn't a public event. It was just us privately on the bus, so he said his real feelings, you know, and it wasn't for, and he says, "You know, I hate doing these fan events, and I'm not feeling good, you know, they make me go out and do these meet and greets." That's kind of, he was kind of down in the mouth a little bit about it, like, "I don't really want to do it." He said, "I had to do this fan event, and I'm sitting at this table, very similar to this. There's, you know, pictures out and signing, and when people go by, and he says, I'm sitting at this table, and there's this long line of people, and this guy comes up and says, 'Ray, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I want you to know that I just recorded one of your songs and put it on my album. So I just wanted you to know that I recorded your song.'" And Ray says, "Oh, that's nice, son." And he's signing an autograph for him. He says, "What's your name?" And he says, "Elvis." And he stops like this, and he looks up and he goes, "Son, let me tell you something. There's one Elvis, and you ain't it." It was Elvis Costello. He waited in the line with all the fans and took his turn. He didn't cut the line, all that. And he had recorded a Ray Price song. And he was so happy to meet Ray Price and tell him, "I recorded an album and I put your song." "You know, that's nice. What's your name?" "Elvis."
No. It's just one Elvis, and you ain't it. I love that story.
This house is actually very friendly with Elvis.
Yeah, I know, he's been
you
here.
He's been
And I love Elvis Costello. But that's the story that Rick told. There's only one Elvis, and you ain't it. And that's what he said, word for word. You ain't it.
I know we're coming to an end, but hey, just to finish the Elvis weekend, you know, on my behalf, we forgot to mention Lars, who was here as well. You know, talking about collecting, and Martin, who did the gospel brunch. So I think we round off a very nice weekend with a lot of Elvis and great music, great memories. But I also want to thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, but thank you for coming over here, being our host and our MC.
Oh, well, thank you. I introduced the band last night.
You did.
You know what I heard today? I was going to tell you this in private, but I'm going to tell you now. I heard twice yesterday, two different people that, unknown to each other, both of them told me, you know what I love about this place is how positive it is and how fun it is. They both told me that same thing, just randomly talking to me. So I love coming to Memphis Mansion because it's so positive and there's such a good feeling here. So I was going to tell you that just later, but since we're talking about it now, I love coming here because it's amazing. I've told this story a few times to some people. That red light right over there, right off the freeway, you come to this red light. I came here last time and it was raining the day we came in, like it usually does in Denmark.
Vegas boy.
Sitting at that red light right there, waiting for the light to turn, and I'm looking at and I'm just, every time I see it, I'm stunned. And I'm like, I cannot believe, because all of us have ideas. Oh, I would love to do this and love to do that, but you actually did it. And I'm sitting at that red light. I'll never forget that. Sitting at that red light and just watching, and it was cold, and just the rain coming down, and just seeing, it was like seeing a picture. It was so beautiful. It's stunning to see it every time that you see it. So you say thank me. No, thank you, because we have this because of an idea you had in your head. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So thank you. Thank you. But listen, thank you. I look at myself. I'm just an Elvis fan. That's all I am. I have the gift of gab. I like to talk. I like to make people laugh and tell fun stories and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just like every person in this room. I'm just an Elvis fan. So for me to be able to come over here and do events like this and participate in it and actually be invited over is awesome, and I appreciate it. So you say thank me, I say thank you. So you're welcome. Anyway.
But thank you for the audience to show up and being part of this.
Yes.
So we will send you home to Vegas with the best wishes. No more war. Peace. Do an Indian. I'm just trying to send a message to the Americans. I'm teasing.
Yeah.
We love Elvis. We love the music, and take a non-Elvis guy, the drummer of the Beatles. He always says what? Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love. All right, listen. Thank you everybody for coming out. If you don't like this video.
You're not about a hot dog.
All right, thank you everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, now get out.